5-year-old Luke constantly told his family that he used to be a dark-skinned girl named Pam. Little Luke would say, "I was Pam, but then I died and went to the sky. And then they told me to come back to Earth, and here I am again." His mother began asking for more information, and he told her that he used to live in Chicago. He recounted a time when he had to jump out of a window during a fire. Luke's mother decided to verify the information online. Her surprise was profound when she stumbled upon a news article from Chicago in 1993. During a hotel fire, 19 people died. Among them was a dark-skinned girl named Pamela Robinson, who had jumped out of a window in an attempt to escape the fire. Luke's mother printed out photos of several dark-skinned girls, including Pamela. When her son saw her, he immediately recognized her and exclaimed, "That's me, Pam." As a child, I used to tell my grandmother how the Heaps pyramid was built, what moves she had. At 5 to 6 years old, I drew a pyramid with an eye on it, and I often dreamed of sand. Then I happened to go to Cairo, and during the tour, I approached a medieval building, already from the Fatimids period, put my hand on it and said internally, "It's okay. I'm back." I said it before I realized what I had done. Me and my husband met. We were very attracted to each other, despite everything. We decided to be friends, but one day we got caught in the rain. We looked at each other in the eyes through a rain shower, as if we suddenly remembered each other. We, 2 adults, stood and cried in the street. Although he was not a believer at all, we are both doctors and we are quite old. We have been together for 9 years. He is 60. I will soon be 50. But we are still afraid to stay without each other even for a day. When my oldest daughter was just under 3 years old, I turned on Queen's album to listen to. She sat on the floor playing. Hearing Mercury's voice, she said, "Oh, it's Farouk singing." I asked, "How did she know?" She replied, "We all knew his real name. FYI, Freddie Mercury is a pseudonym. Singer real name Farouk Bulsar." My mother died almost 5 years ago, and a year before I found out I was pregnant, I dreamed about my mother with a newborn boy. She babysat him all the time, and somehow in my last dream I asked her, "Whose baby was it?" She replied, "Yours." I answered, "Mom, what are you doing? I don't have children." She said, "Since I left early, I was allowed to stay here with my grandson and protect him until he comes to you. In March, you will understand everything." And I stopped dreaming. In March 2023, I found out I was pregnant and was born at the end of November. My son is just like in my dream, small and bright. My daughter also told me how she chose parents. She said that it was like a tablet and you could flip through your life. "I chose you because you are the most beautiful and kind." Then we were sitting in a hotel on the other side of the world, and again, she began to have such deep conversations. I say, "Where did you come to me so interesting? Why?" She gave such a cute smile, as if she was shy, and said, "Oh, Mommy, you are so big, but still so small. We are all here." Pause. In order to learn. Pause. "I love." I cried then. The child is 4 years old. Almost every day I hear about him being a soldier. I ask when. He answers, "A long time ago." I ask question, "Did you have parents?" He answers, "Yes, they were." I say, "It was me and Dad." He says, "No, it was old grandparents killed in the war. And his wife mine was killed and 2 children. And then they killed me." He listens to songs about war, loves everything related to the Great Patriotic War. He even had to buy a uniform for children of that time. The most interesting thing is that he has been telling stories about his past life for 2 years, and he has never changed his story, no matter how I mislead him with my questions, trying to understand maybe he comes up with. But every time the same stories, about family and war, about friends, about how he was killed, but he doesn't say his name. I ask him his name. He just doesn't answer. My daughter told me how she chose me. There was no word about the past life, of course, but until 4 to 5 years she remembered it clearly, and then not so much. She said we were given a screen with photos. There were many little children around. I was scrolling through the pages. I saw you and your grandmother in the photo. I wanted to bring you closer, and you got out, and I already saw you in the maternity hospital. And I remember when I gave birth, she had such surprised eyes, like, "Wow, I had how it all." She also told me that I wanted to continue flirting. At the age of 5, my son told me that I probably a past incarnation used to be his wife. We were driving to the hospital and we had an accident. Then he reached the clouds and saw me and wanted me to be his mother. And always say thank you for being together again. When my son was 4 years old, he told me, when I was upstairs, I saw you crying a lot. I was diagnosed with infertility, and I went down the stairs to you, and when he was older, I think he was 6 years old. Then he told me, you know not I should be your first child, but I wanted to be the first so badly, and I was ahead of the other, and that child is sitting upstairs waiting for him to have white hair. Wait, he will come soon. And when my son was 9 years old, I had a white-haired girl. My eldest son told me when he was a child that he used to be a school teacher, lived with his wife, and loved to wear checkered shirts. He said that one day on the way to work, everything suddenly darkened and he didn't remember anything anymore. My son was 2 years old. When I was 4 to 5 years old, I often told my mother that I was born in Japan, that we lived there. I clearly remembered the streets and houses, nature. I often felt déjà vu when I saw similar streets in my city. And all my childhood I was fascinated by Japan, learning the language. Then I got acquainted with Korean culture and also learning the language. Always wanted to live there. I still have a great desire for those countries. I constantly dream about going there. Feels like my home is there. I hope I can go to Tokyo this year. I will be the happiest person in the world. My daughter Audrey talked very early, and at 2 years old, she said that she was a boy killed in the war. I called myself Valentine. Besides, we do not have a TV. She had never heard of war at this age, and we did not read books about war then either.